Good afternoon, it's Trey Malicoat from a bench on Crystal Beach. Today I'm doing a 10-minute video to talk to you about what you do when your world feels like it's falling apart. Now here's what I know. We all live, every one of us, in an illusion that everything is working out perfectly all the time. But here's what I know. In a moment's notice, crisis could strike your life, death could strike your life, you could lose your job, you could lose your home, you could have, there are all sorts of things that could happen to you, and in a split second, you might be brought to your knees where you have to figure out how to do the world differently. And tonight are the lessons that I've learned to share with you about that. So I'd invite you to share this information if it's helpful. Bottom line, you can trust that everything's working out all the time, and I believe on a very spiritual level that it is working out perfectly, but I also want you to know we live in this world, and sometimes this world becomes shit. Now, if that's the case in your own life, and you know, it's interesting because I've talked to a bunch of people over the last 3 or 4 months, and the single narrative that I keep hearing is a narrative of despair and discouragement and difficulty. And my vision is simply to just be 2 steps ahead of folks, to have enough wisdom and knowledge that I can share what I'm learning in my own life so I can make the world a better place. So I want you to buckle your seatbelt. And I want you to get your pen and paper out, and I want to share with you, I believe, the 12 most important things that you can do with your life. Number 1, do not trust your emotions, do not trust your thoughts. Simply hold them in your head. Because when we're in a position of struggle, what happens is all the narratives of our past, all those emotions from our past, all those thoughts and ideas from our past surface and rear their ugly head and start to play a mind fuck on you where you begin to believe certain things and think certain things, and then you step into a shame narrative, and all of a sudden you're in a situation where your thoughts and your emotions are paralyzing you. If you are in a struggle right now, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So do not trust your thoughts or emotions. Simply allow them, hold them, and let them go. Here's what I do. I say, that's an interesting perspective. How can I look at that differently? Here's point number 2. I want you to watch your I am statements. I am miserable. I am sad. I am challenged. I am having a hard time. I am ugly. I'm not smart. Whatever your I am statement is a proclamation to the universe that you believe about yourself. And guess what? What you put out in the world is what you're going to get back. So if you say I am miserable, guess what? You're breeding misery, brother. Do you want to breed misery? Hell to the no on that one. Okay, here's the 3rd thing I want you to think about. I want you to rally support. And I want you to find those folks in your life that are there to be on the journey with you. And if you have a community, I want you to nurture that community. I want you to reach out to that community. And if you don't have a community, I want you to know that the Master Creator, God, the universe, the core consciousness will place the right people in your life at the right time. And those people will be there to support you on a journey. I'm absolutely amazed at how many people I meet, and I don't know them, but I live in the world in such a way that says I need to make a difference in the world. And my hope is that just for a moment, I can perhaps give someone a glimpse of hope or a glimpse of encouragement. And so live in the world that way, because that's what it's all about. Okay, point number 4. Realize that we all have control over 2 things, our perceptions and our reactions, how you perceive things in your world and how you react to those things. And your perceptions can be positive or they can be negative, but most of the time when you're in the midst of struggle, your perceptions are skewed. And so I want you to focus on how can I perceive the situation I'm in as the greatest opportunity for me to learn, for me to grow, for me to evolve, and for me to become a person. I'm getting better and better every day in every way, and then react to that. And if you don't do it that way, if you perceive based on negatives and difficulties, then you'll react through negatives and difficulties. Okay, point number 5. I want you to do something productive with your day. I don't care what it is. Get out of bed every damn day. Make your bed. Get yourself showered up, cleaned up, and dressed up. I want you to go out and if you even have to just pick a bouquet of flowers and stick them on someone's stoop, do it. Just do something with your time, because if you don't do something with your time and you're in the middle of a struggle, what will happen is you'll spend a lot of time in this noggin, and all of a sudden that noggin is going to mind fuck you again. It's going to say, oh, you should have done this, you could have done this, I wish you would have done this, you miserable failure. And the truth of the matter is, when you do something productive with your day, you realize that you have a great gift to the world. Okay, here is point number 6. I want you to stay out of the past, and I want you to be in the future just enough to know that you got to take some steps to make your life different and better. But ultimately, it's about staying fully in the present. And if we can develop the ability to live fully in the present, then that is where great peace resides, because the past really doesn't mean anything, and the future just creates anxiety. And so the way that I stay in the present is to simply breathe. Monitor my breath, understand my breath, focus on my breath. And there are times where I literally have to sit in the chair and all I do is breathe. I put my music on, I breathe, I think about my breath. And the breath is symbolic of life. It's the life that's been breathed into you. Okay, I want you to accept point number 7. Your distractions do not work. Okay, write it down. Write that shit down. Your distractions do not work. If they're work or weed or drinking or just keeping yourself busy or cleaning the baseboards, whatever it is that you do to distract yourself, guess what? They're not going to work when tragedy and difficulty happens. And so you're going to have to figure out how to retool. You got to figure out how to keep yourself out of distraction and stay in the present. And that's staying in your focus of breath. Okay, point number 8. I want you to not play the compare and despair game. Here's the thing. We should never compare and despair with someone else. Comparing what they have to what you have, and then despairing about what you don't have. Comparing about someone else's struggle compared to your struggle, and thinking that you're going to cry a river, build yourself a bridge, and get over it. The truth of the matter is that when you're struggling and having difficulty in life, the compare and despair just adds insult to injury. Okay, here's point number 9. I want you to do something to change the world. And I know that sounds like a platitude, but I believe that we're here for a reason, and that is to make the world a better place. And so you have a unique designed gift. You have a divine ability to do something that'll change the world. Just find one gift that you have and live into it. Do something to change the world. Okay, point number 10. I want you to assign no meaning to shame. Guess what? Shame doesn't have a place in suffering. Shame is simply that old narrative that you're hanging on to, and frankly, it's a big old pile of shit. Shame does not serve us because it convinces us that we are unworthy. And the truth of the matter is we're wildly worthy. Okay, point number 11. I want you to rebuild. Create a vision for yourself, rally the people around you to help you find that vision, work your ass off, do what you need to do to build what you need to build, and know that you will rebuild in a powerful, big way. But you won't if you don't get your damn ass off the couch. Now, here's the last and final thing that I want to leave with you, and this is point number 12. I want you to trust. I want you to cling. I want you to leap into. I want you to know that you're being held by something bigger and greater and more profound than yourself. And I don't really give two shits to Sunday what you call that. God, Jesus, the universe, the core consciousness, the central energy, Mother Earth. I really do not care, brother, because it does not matter. The truth of the matter is that you can look at all of creation and know that we're a part of something much more divine. And you can't argue with me on that. The truth of the matter is you are being held in the hands of something bigger and much more mighty and much more powerful that is all-seeing and all-knowing and all-powerful. And when you can lean into that place, that's that place of faith that I'm talking about. What you do is you liberate yourself from the fear and the shame and the difficulty. And so tonight I'm hopeful that these 12 tips will give you a sense of peace. And what I know is that as you think about the journey you're on, perhaps you're being grown, you're being taught, you're being inspired, you are learning lessons that will make you even more perfect. So, with that, my name is Trey Malicoat, and I'm on a bench on Crystal Beach. Peace be with each one of you.